Hi my beautiful stars, I hope that you're doing so well today. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So for today's video, I have a gigantic thrift haul of books. So just thrifted books. Some of them are from the Dollar Tree as well, but most of these are thrifted. I have a huge tower of them. I think some of them I might have like shown in like past thrift hauls that had other things in the thrift haul, like clothing and stuff, same with the Dollar Tree stuff, but I just thought it'd be fun to kind of encompass all of it together, and then they're all in one video and you can see everything all at once. So let's just get into it. Starting off, in no particular order, this one is called Happy, Messy, Scary Love by Leah Conan, and this person was the author of The Romantics. I believe I got this one at the Dollar Tree. I just like love picking up cute little romantic books. I think that those are really fun filler books in between maybe more hard topics or nonfiction books. I've been trying to get into more nonfiction. I haven't read any yet, but like I haven't read nonfiction in like years. I have read it, but it's been a long time. I actually have a nonfiction book in this stack here, which we'll get to eventually. This one just sounds really good. It's about like a high schooler. Her name's Olivia. She is a budding screenwriter with a penchant for procrastination, harbors an embarrassing secret. Her own plan is to binge watch horror movies and chat with her gilling new Reddit friend Elm. Olivia and Elm haven't shared much beyond their ages and a mutual obsession with fear-inducing films until the day Elm surprises Olivia with a selfie. Sounds really cute. It just sounded intriguing. Next is one from Reese's Book Club, which is Untamed by Glennon Doyle, and I've heard mixed reviews about this book, but I thought I'd, you know, obviously experience it for myself. It's hardcover. I got this for like I think $2 at the thrift store, so of course I thought, you know, what a deal. What a deal. This one is from the Dollar Tree and it's called Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tuckle. It says, a hero, a villain, a liar, who's who? Two girls, one boy, one summer, one bad thing. What really happened? Someone knows, someone is lying. Balance between paranormal and just like kind of a little unsettling. Sounds right up my alley, so I think this will be a really fun one to read. This one I know I got from the thrift. I was like so excited to find it. Called Without a Hitch, and it's like a co-written piece by Mary Hollis Huddleston and Asher Fogle Paul. This is about Lottie Jones, and she lands a new career as a wedding planner at a top-tier boutique event firm. She begins navigating a cutthroat workplace specializing in extravagant details, unlimited budgets, and a broad spectrum of taste. Whether planning for parachute landings or wrangling intoxicated groomsmen, she has her hands full at every million-dollar wedding she helps organize. Set against the glamorous, ruthless world of high-end southern weddings and inspired by real events in the author's lives, Without a Hitch is a hilarious romp about taking ownership, facing fears, planning your ex-boyfriend's wedding, and choosing a happy ending that wasn't what you once expected. It sounds good. It's actually kind of a thick boy, so at least for me, I like a quick read, but maybe I'll get really into it and I'll finish it anyways, and then it will be a quick read. If you know anything about me and my past books, I love Lauren Conrad. I think that she definitely has a knack for writing. I think she's a great author. Something about her writing just like really gets me. This is a series that I think I would have loved in like high school, but I never knew about it until now. She has a couple of series. So this one's an LA Candy novel. She has the LA Candy series, and then she has another one that is called A Fame Game, which I'll show you those books. I finally got the rest of this series. There's like 3 or 4, and this one's called Sugar and Spice. It's hardcover. I have a mix of hardcover and softcover in this series, but I read the second book in the series because that's the one that I found, and I wasn't sure if it was the first or second until I started reading it. And I was like, well, I'm already in it, so I'm just gonna finish it. And it wasn't too hard to follow actually, which I really like. And then I found the first novel, and then I have this is the third one. So I'm really excited to try this one out and finish the series. I think it will be a really fun one to read when I'm kind of figuring out what I want to read. I like having, like I said, those fun rom-com. It kind of reminds me of like Gossip Girl vibes, and those are always the best. Then I found The Wedding Date, which, I mean, look at that Target sticker. This is definitely an oldie, but a goodie. This is by Elizabeth Young. I love this movie. If you've never seen it, definitely go ahead and watch it. It is so good. It has Deborah Messing. A young Amy Adams is in this film as well. It's based in England. Deborah Messing's sister, Amy Adams, is getting married, and there's like a whole bunch of drama, and she basically hires out this guy to be her wedding date because her ex is going to be there because he's like best friends with the groom. And I love when books turn into movies and there's like those adaptations. Those are like the best, and it's fun because like going back and reading the book and comparing it to the movie or the TV show is always so fun, at least for me. Because I love the movie, I think I'll love the book. I read The Devil Wears Prada, and I grew up watching that movie since it came out in like what, 2005, 2006. And the book was so much different. It provided so many other details that weren't in the movie, and I love that. I think it's just really cool to see like what the movie decides to leave out and what they do decide to leave in, all that kind of stuff. So excited to read this one. This one I also found at the thrift store. I almost wasn't sure if I wanted it, but it's called Bliss by Lauren Miracle, and it is a thriller from the Journal of SLL. Blood has a power that can't be denied. It has a name, this power, she said. She called it blood magic. Who called it blood magic? I asked. I knew already, of course. I just enjoy hearing her name, Liliana. I don't want to like read every single synopsis for these books because we'll be here all day. Bones, says a voice in my head, tombs. I stopped dead in my tracks because it's not my voice that whispered these thoughts, and whoever's voice it is, it's not a nice voice. This one I like always look at on my bookshelf. I've had it for like a month now, and I'm like, when do I want to read it? I mean, I could right now, but I'm reading like 2 other books at the same time, which I try not to read too many books at the same time because then I always forget about one because I want to read a different one instead. If you do that, you probably get the struggle. The next one I got is A Vintage Affair by Isabel Wolf, and this one kind of, it is not a nonfiction book, but I feel like it gives that vibe. It's a Barnes & Noble recommends book, which I think this is a couple years old, but the back says, every dress has a history and so does every woman. Phoebe Swift's friends are stunned when she abruptly leaves a plum job to open her own vintage clothing shop in London, but to Phoebe it's the fulfillment of a dream and her passion. Digging her finds in attics and wardrobes, Phoebe knows that when you buy a piece of vintage clothing, you're not just buying fabric and thread, you're buying a piece of someone's past. But one particular article of clothing will soon unexpectedly change her life. Therese Bell, an elderly Frenchwoman, has an impressive clothing collection, but among the array of elegant suits and couture gowns, Phoebe finds a child's blue coat, an item with which Mrs. Bell is stubbornly reluctant to part. As the two women become friends, Phoebe will learn the poignant tale of that little blue coat, and she will discover an astonishing connection between herself and Therese Bell, one that will help her heal the pain of her own past and allow her to love again. It has a lot of quotes on the back, people saying it's a great read, and I love fashion, I love vintage, and I just felt like a part of me could really relate to her character, at least in that way, and I wanted to give it a shot. Talking about movie adaptations from books, oh my gosh, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. I did not know that this was a book, and this is by Diane Sheldon. Iconic movie. If you grew up in the early 2000s, like, this movie is so good. So it's about Mary Elizabeth, or Lola as she prefers to be called, longs to be in the spotlight, but when she moves to New Jersey with her family, Lola discovers that the role of resident drama queen at Deadwood High has already been filled by the born to win, born to run everything Carla Santini. Once the curtain goes up on the school play, which drama queen will take the center stage? Which, if you've seen the movie, you already know, but I think that this will be such a fun and nostalgic read, so of course I had to get it. Now, like I said, I did find another Lauren Conrad series. I didn't know that she's written this many books, and I found the entire collection in one sitting, so I was like, for me, thank you. So 2 of them are hardcover, 1 is soft, but that's okay. I have Starstruck, Infamous, and The Fame Game. I think The Fame Game is the first book, and then it goes in like this order. The LA Candy series is about these 2 girls that are best friends, and they get presented with the idea of having their own reality TV show, which I feel like I've said this before, but I think probably a very familiar field for Lauren Conrad because she was on like a kind of retail. She's on like a little reality show kind of. I Know the Hills. I don't know if it was like full on reality or if it was like a mix. I mean, those shows are always still scripted, like Jersey Shore and stuff, but they're always really good to watch. So of course, like, this is something she's really familiar with, and I think that's like where she pulls a lot of inspiration. And it follows actually another character from the LA Candy series in this series. That character in specific is like a little bit ratty and kind of like not a very nice person, so I think it'll be cool to give her a chance and like see more about her and like why she is the way she is. Maybe something changed in her along the way, things like that. I got the very popular Dune. This is by Frank Herbert, and oh shoot. So this is Dune Messiah. I didn't even like think till I thought this was like part of the, so this is the second book to Dune, which I didn't know it was a series because I just saw everyone reading it on TikTok and I was like, Dune, so I snagged it, but maybe I'll just go ahead and read the second one anyways out of order. I've done it before. Basically it just follows or continues the story of Paul Atreides. Then I got The Sun and Her Flowers by Ruby Kaur. I have Milk and Honey. I got that as a gift a couple years ago. I actually found this at the thrift store and it was from my high school's library, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it back and then like 2 weeks later I found it again, so obviously I was meant to have it. And I'm trying to include a little bit more poetry books in my stuff, as well as like world-renowned books, like a lot of Jane Austen and stuff. I've been just trying to incorporate a lot of those kind of books into my collection, try and read them and expand my horizons a little bit. So I think this will be a good one to read maybe when I'm in a slump but I still want to read something. This one I did get at a little free library. I do remember this because I did a video. It's by Catriona McPherson, Dandy Gilver and a Spot of Toil and Trouble. I think that this will be super fun. This is actually the pre-release book to it. This was released in July of 2017. It says, fair is foul and foul is fair as aristocratic private detective Dandy Gilver heads off to Castle Buer to solve the mystery of a missing ruby necklace and a tragic family curse. She arrives as the residents are preparing to stage a production of Macbeth, yet sinister goings-on seem to be more than amateur dramatics. We love a good mystery. I think it'll be fun. With that, I have The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. This one I think is a little bit newer. I was really excited to find this. It just sounds so good. And it's a Penguin Random House novel, which is awesome. And it's a prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman in this fantastical historical romance. I've heard really good things about the historical romances that have come out lately, and I wanted to see what they're all about for myself. I also got Etiquette and Espionage, a finishing school book, the first, from Gail Carriger, The Fine Art of Finishing Others. If I remember correctly, this young girl, like back in the days, I remember I did a historical like short story when I was in high school in my creative writing class. We went to the James J. Hill House up in St. Paul, and he's like someone that started the railroad tracks in Minnesota, which is really cool, and him and his family were like hecka rich, and I mean his house, you can tell. Around this time the girls would be sent off to finishing school, and usually like far away, like New York and stuff, and they would learn about like sewing and how to be a lady and run the house and things like that. This girl gets sent to finishing school, but they learn about like the fine arts, but they also learn about how to deal with death, diversion, and espionage, but also in the politest possible ways. It's not like what her mom thought it would be when she was sending her off to the school, and kind of almost gives me like Wild Child vibes. I don't know why, but it just kind of sounds like that. Then, funny enough, I also really wanted this book, and it was at Five Below, and I found it for like $1, and it's just a copy of Peter Pan by G.M. Barrie, and I have never read Peter Pan. Like I read it as like my little Disney picture books, but never as like a full-on story, so I think that will be something fun. Like it is just really cute on its own. Just I love the art. Like this will be a fun coffee table book, but also I think it might be something fun to read. Then I got The Paper Palace. This is also part of Reese's Book Club by Miranda Cowley Heller. I've also heard mixed reviews about this book, but I thought that I'd give it a shot. It was like $2, and for a hardcover book, that's not too bad. This one I believe I got at the Dollar Tree. It's by E. Latimer. It's Witches of Ash and Ruin. And I think, yeah, so it's about like a 17-year-old witch, and she's struggling to cope with her somatic OCD after being outed as bisexual from her conservative Irish town. I also got Orange is the New Black. This was kind of me going on to that, trying to read memoirs, nonfiction stuff, because I think it'll just be good for me to have that mixed in with the fiction to kind of bring me back down to earth a little bit. I loved this show. I mean, towards the end, it wasn't my absolute favorite, but like, I think it'll be good to read the book. I know that Piper, I think is it Kerman? Her life is like totally different than the Piper that's in the show, and it will just be kind of cool to compare those two. Also, I got A Stolen Life. It's a memoir by J.C. Dugard, and she went missing. I'm going to read the synopsis because this one just gives me goosebumps. In the summer of 1991, I was a normal kid. I did normal things. I had friends and a mother who loved me. I was just like you, until the day my life was stolen. For 18 years, I was a prisoner. I was an object for someone to use and abuse. For 18 years, I was not allowed to speak my own name. I became a mother and was forced to be a sister. For 18 years, I survived an impossible situation. On August 26, 2009, I took my name back. My name is J.C. Lee Dugard. I don't think of myself as a victim. I survived. A Stolen Life is my story, in my own words, in my own way, exactly as I remember it. I know like every memoir is a little different, but she actually like included pictures and stuff of I think letters she wrote and things, so I think it'll be a really tough one to read, but also just very eye-opening. If you like true crime and things like that, this might be something you want to read. This is also from the Dollar Tree. This is For Letter or Worse, a stationery shop mystery by Vivian Conroy. This is just like so fun. I love the cover, and this is really outside of my like usual field of reading, but I've heard pretty good things about these kind of books. Like I know that there's I think she's an author based in Minnesota, and a lot of her books are based in Minnesota, and it's like the confectionery shop mysteries or something, and it's about like baked, so it's like the angel cake murders and like the lemon poppy seed murders, like it's something like that. And so I thought this would be something fun and different to read. So the starter says murder is in the cards ... The scissors are sharpened and the cardstock is stacked for Delta Douglas's latest workshop, making 3D cards at socialite Lena Leroy's birthday extravaganza. As co-owner of Wanted, the local Tundish stationery shop, Delta is ready to wow her guests with her one-of-a-kind crafts. But at this party, paper isn't the only thing bent out of shape. When a threatening present is unwrapped and the hostess's sister-in-law is discovered dead near the trees, Delta realizes another killer is on the loose in her small Montana town. Sounds a little spooky, a little interesting. Let's give it a whirl. I got Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects, which is an HBO series starring Amy Adams now, and I totally just read that off the book. I've heard about her books. I think she also wrote Gone Girl, which I think I do have in my collection somewhere. This one I've heard good things about the show, and I think it'll be good to read the book. This one I'm really excited to read for like the winter time now that we're in November. I think this will be something fun to read. Last year I read The 12 Dates of Christmas. I also did a book review and I loved that book. It was so sweet and cute. Of course, there's like some things that made me a little mad about the character, but you know, it happens. And so I just kind of wanted something similar, and this one's called Meet Me in London. If you can already tell, a lot of my books are based in London. I love England. I went there 2 years ago this winter and it was like the best thing I've ever done. I want to go back. I want to live there. It's so amazing. This one is The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo, and this is also from Reese's Book Club. I'm not a part of any book club, like I'm not part of Book of the Month or anything, so whenever I find these kind of books, I love to just snag them and give them a shot, because I know that they were like plucked for a reason to be sent out to a lot of people part of this book club, so I think it'll be something fun to read. And when I found this book, I couldn't quite remember if I already had it or not, because I know I have the Unhoneymooners, but I wasn't sure if I had this one. And I know they're by different people, but it's People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I've heard such good things about this book. It was a Book of the Month copy, and if I already have it, the reason why I wasn't sure is because I have my books in a couple different locations in my house, and I was at the store and for some reason I was like, I can't remember. I have to get like a catalog thing and like scan them and keep them on my computer or something so I can look back when I'm shopping, because it's gotten a little bad. I really don't own as many books anymore because I've gotten rid of a lot, but like I still own a lot of books even though I don't. I do and I don't. The last book in this haul is Possession by Katie Lowe. The past haunts her, the present hunts her. Those are all the books that I got in the past couple of months thrifting and also going to the Dollar Tree. Definitely give your thrift stores and your Dollar Trees a chance. Dollar General also sells books too. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, shine bright. Bye guys!